Good morning. We have a lot of pentacles in our reading for today. We have the opening card of the Two of Pentacles. Our challenge today is the Five of Pentacles. The way we're going to get through that challenge is the Hierophant, and the overall outcome for the day is the Ace of Pentacles. And interestingly enough, the Hierophant is ruled by Taurus, which is an earth sign, and so it is also governed by Pentacles. So we have a lot of earth energy today, and energy that is related to our belief system, our financial situation, things that we value, and our physical body. And considering that we have this opening card of this Two of Pentacles, we go from this energy of, balance, like we're kind of making things work, like things are chaotic in our world, but we're finding a way to have harmony within it and balance, even though we feel like we're kind of living on this tightrope in some ways, which is what this person is doing in this card. They're walking along a tightrope. They have one coin in one hand, one coin in the other, which are driven by these cyclical movements out in the world. And there's this swelling waterway behind them, which is speaking to our emotional situation and everything that's going on in the currents of our body while we are trying to find harmony in this chaotic world. They seem to be doing okay, right? But then we have this challenge that comes in today, which is the Five of Pentacles, which is these people who are sitting in the foreground looking like they've been going through some hardship in life, and there's this beautiful stained glass window behind them with 5 coins in it. Now, 5s are numbers of choices, but it's quite likely that maybe one of these coins got knocked out of your hands recently, or there's some sense of hardship over one of these things that we've been holding on to and trying to bring harmony with in our lives, because we see that these people are going through some kind of suffering, right? And they're working through it. And it may be a challenge for us to work through some sense of loss or hardship, and how do we move through it? But that's what the 5s are about. It's all about our choice, and how we see any situation ultimately creates opportunity or lack of opportunity in our situation. So if we're always looking down, being like, the sky is falling and the world is always punishing me, and what did I do to deserve this? Versus like, okay, well, maybe that coin was knocked out of my hand because it's not actually what's going to help me at this time, right? And so I need to redirect my focus and redirect my perspective into the situation around this sense of loss, which can be a tricky thing. The way that we're getting through the challenge, though, is the Hierophant. And the Hierophant is an energy that's related to Taurus and the throat. So do we need to have a conversation? Do we need to speak our truth in some way, to have some kind of release around what we're actually holding on to inside? And it's also really important to consider, like, what is this lesson teaching us? Because this is a card of the teacher, and ultimately listening to your own inner voice in a situation. So if you've been able to look back at your life in perspective and see some situations that seemed like a lot of hardship, but it actually opened up a better situation for you, even though you had that loss, and even though that loss was difficult, that's kind of the energy that we're working with here. It's like you still have a coin, right? You didn't lose all of the coins that we had while we're trying to create this harmony. We still have something of value that is in our hand. And so it comes down to, what do we want to do with that? Now I want to dance between these last 2 cards a little bit, because the Hierophant is related to Taurus. We've had Uranus sitting in the sign of Taurus for the last couple of years, creating a lot of unexpected and unavoidable change in our lives that had been a place of stability, because Taurus is typically a really stable sign, being that it is an earth-ruled sign, and it's a fixed earth-ruled sign. It's like planted iron on the ground, right? It's super, super stable. But then you bring in a planet that is like all about change, and things are going to change up, and we likely feel a huge sense of loss around that, or a huge sense of loss around that. And yet we also have this interesting thing that just happened recently. We had the North Node shift into Taurus and the South Node shift into Scorpio, which they're opposite signs in the zodiac system. And the North Node is like pointing the direction as to where we need to put our attention in life, whereas the South Node is showing us where we're moving away from. And also, because the South Node is in Scorpio, we're seeing some things that we quite literally need to let go of and transform so that we can like bring ourselves into the next aspect of our life, because Scorpio is all about regeneration and letting go and death. And by death, I mean, like, if you're in the Northern Hemisphere and you're outside in, October, November, it looks like all the trees are dying. They're letting go of their leaves. They're pulling themselves inward, but they're pulling themselves inward to be reborn in the spring. So there's this energy of our South Node, which is like, what do we need to let go of so that we can be reborn? And we're working with that. And we have this final card of the day, which is the Ace of Pentacles, which is really like an opportunity. It's like someone putting a big coin in your hand and asking you, what do you want to do with this? What can you make the most out of this with? And they set it in your hand. And if we're in this place of like out where we're having the energy that we could be putting towards that thing being lost or sacrificed to this energy of hardship, then we can't really make the most out of that opportunity. And so we have to learn how to listen to our own inner guidance system and allow our own inner teacher to step in and acknowledge that sometimes things don't work out and it's actually for the best. And that's what we have to look up to, right? When we're in this Five of Pentacles space, and that's why we're challenged with this card today, because it all comes down to how we look at loss and what we make out of what we still have. And consider that, an Ace of Pentacles is earth, right? It's opportunity. It's also a big coin being put in your hand, and it's resources, and it's your value system. So, we're looking at what we really value and what's really important, and it's quite likely with everything that's going on in the world the last couple of days, some people have gotten some hard hits financially, and some people have gotten, really intense wake-up calls in our world. And yet, what do we do with what we actually still have? What do we do with our ultimate resource, which is time and this opportunity to have a life in this world? And that, my friends, is still in your hands. So I send you a good wish today and a lot of love. If you are interested in getting a tarot reading with me, I actually, I know I give 4-card readings for my daily readings, but when I offer readings for individuals who want to sit with me, they're actually 12-card readings, and they are laid out like the astrological layout. So we look at every different house and every different area of your life. And then we also look at your astrology transits that you're going through for the next 6 months to a year. So if you're interested in that, reach out and let me know, and we'll schedule some time. And I hope you make the most of today. I send you a lot of love. Bye for now.